Network Africa, the rallying point for the emergence of a new Africa.
Hello and welcome to Network Africa. I am Adeshewa Josh. This week, Egypt President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi speaks on his agenda, promises inclusive government for all. Then, Libya in leadership crisis, votes out newly elected prime minister after court declares his election unconstitutional. War on rape in conflict zones as women activists fight back. They seek legal actions against violators of women and girls in war-torn areas.
They live in refugee camps or bombed out streets in areas where there is no law, no protection, and not even the hope of justice. They struggle to keep their children safe, and if they admit to being raped, they are likely to face more violence and social rejection.
From the bank to the palace, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi is the new emir of Kano, receives certificate of confirmation amid controversies.
He has all the qualities needed to make a great leader, and I'm confident, based on our knowledge of him, that he would excel as the Emir of Kano.
And finally, the World Cup begins in earnest. How far is Africa from winning the trophy? On June the 6th, the world woke up to the news that Kano's foremost emir and most revered ruler, Alhaji Ado Bayero, passed on at the age of 83 after a brief illness. The ancient city of Kano was thrown into mourning. Friends and well-wishers alike stormed the palace that very day. But while they commiserate with the family of late Ado Bayero, the question, who succeeds him now, begged for an answer. 3 names were submitted by the Council of Elders to the governor of the state, Rabiu Kwankwaso, including that of the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Lamido Sanusi. His nomination and acceptance was welcomed with mixed feelings, even as a mild drama broke out in Kano State. However, the new emir received his certificate of confirmation.
Kingmakers paying obeisance to the new emir of Kano. The certificate handed over by the Kano State Governor, Rabiu Kwankwaso, to the new emir, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, backs up his appointment to carry on with the traditional rule in the state.
By the powers conferred upon me by the Kano State Chiefs, appointment and deposition, law 1984, and acting on the recommendation of the kingmakers, I, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, have the pleasure to heartily convey your appointment as the Emir of Kano. Your appointment into the exalted position of the Emir of Kano was guided by our collective and careful judgment of your ability, credibility, and capability to provide a very powerful leadership to the revered Cabinet Council at this crucial period of our history as a state and as a nation, where people of your intelligence, experience, and commitment are required to chart a new and environmental course for the prosperity of our people.
Former FCT Minister Malam Nasir El-Rufai sees the new emir as powerful and can fit into the shoes of the late emir, Ado Bayero.
He's a man of courage, a man of integrity, a man that will die defending the truth. And he has all the qualities needed to make a great leader, and I'm confident, based on our knowledge of him, that he would excel as the Emir of Kano.
Report says protest is continuing against the choice of the new emir, who for now is unable to move into the palace because of the tensed situation.
Egypt's new president-elect Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has been speaking on the reforms his government will embark on, one of which he says is an inclusive government in Egypt. Political analysts believe this statement is encompassing and could mean that President al-Sisi is willing to look into the plight of the Muslim Brotherhood, the major supporters of ousted President Mohamed Morsi. You will recall that there were massive crackdown on the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt after the ousting of Mohamed Morsi, a coup President al-Sisi helped plan and also carry out following massive protests across the nation over Mr. Morsi's high-handedness in government. In March this year, about 528 supporters of Mr. Morsi were sentenced to death, with hundreds arrested thereafter. Only a few days ago, the Muslim Brotherhood declared President al-Sisi's election null and void. However, the Al-Nouri party has said it would be willing to join Mr. al-Sisi's presidency.
Speculation is rife concerning the composition of a new caretaker cabinet in Egypt after President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi reappointed Ibrahim Malab as Prime Minister on Monday, tasking him to form his new cabinet. During el-Sisi's first day in office, the interim government submitted its resignation as legally required. Latest reports indicated strategic ministries like the Defense, Foreign and Interior will be kept the same. 5 to 10 ministries are expected to go through changes, most of them in the service sector, including health and environment departments. Tourism Minister Eshem Zazu says he is willing to face whatever decision the president takes.
Continuity is very important, and in our field there is many plans now in place. My colleagues here in the ministry are aware of it. Whether he will make major or minor changes in the cabinet, I am personally ready for whatever path I should take, either to continue or leave. But even if I leave, I feel I'm obligated towards my country and my ministry and my sector to sit with whoever will take the seat and who will ever be in charge in the coming period, and discuss with him or her the future plan.
Meanwhile, Egypt's Al-Nour party has said it will be willing to join newly inaugurated President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's government, showing its intention to become the most influential Islamist group after the removal of the Muslim Brotherhood from power. When asked if his party is willing to take up a post in al-Sisi's government, he said that's their national duty.
We are ready, and we don't mind any opportunity to present through it something for Egypt. It is a national duty to seek that. I would not mind joining the president as a consultant on his team or in the coming cabinet, as it was appointed through a democratically elected president. So if he offered us a place in the cabinet, we will analyze the offer, and it is a very high possibility that we accept.
That position could give Sisi political ammunition as he moves to crush violent militant groups who have stepped up attacks on soldiers and police since the former army chief deposed President Mohamed Morsi of the Brotherhood last year. The ultra-conservative Salafists backed the army takeover and then emerged as political kingmakers in Egypt during the turmoil that followed the security crackdown on the Muslim Brotherhood, blocking the nomination of a prime minister, for instance. Now it appears to be betting on its support for Sisi to remain relevant and safe in a country where repression against Islamists has reached unprecedented levels. Sisi has indicated it will show little tolerance for political Islam in a country where leaders with military backgrounds have battled militants for decades. Opposing Sisi could be risky after he toppled Morsi's security forces, killed hundreds of Brotherhood members in street protests, arrested thousands of others, and put its leaders on trial. The state has been undertaking a tough campaign against fellow Islamists and others, Human rights groups say there are over 16,000 political detainees in Egypt.